Oh my God, it is riveting. That is the big ascendant story. Snap, crackle, pop. Whoa! This is one of the biggest cataclysmic jolts and bolts. Kaboom! Hi everyone, it's Meredith, your evolutionary astrologer. Why am I so fixated and focused on progressions in astrology and progressing your natal chart? Well, the reason is because you get to see the evolution of your soul. You get to see who you were meant to be in this lifetime. You get to understand your past challenges and blessings, and you get to see the challenges and the blessings and the magic and the elixir that is going to find you and help you heal and help you on your ascension in the future. So it's a great tool to see past, present, and future. So where are your progressions? Today, we are going to talk all about, are you ready? No, you're not. The progressed ascendant. And when the ascendant changes signs, oh my God, it is riveting. And I'm going to show you today just how riveting it is by showing you Marilyn Monroe's progressed chart. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating character study. We're going to talk all about it. And by the way, I hope you're a member. If not, please consider joining and becoming a member, not just a subscriber. It's one step past subscribing, and it allows me to do this deeper work with you and spend more time with you. And so for my members, I'm going to do a second video where you get to understand the progressed midheaven and what it means for your life. You know, when that 10th house changes signs by progressions, it is a change in the trajectory of your career, of your legacy, of your calling. So we're going to go through what it truly means for you, and we're going to look at all 12 signs. But today, for everybody, I'm going to talk about the ascendant and when the ascendant changes signs, and I'm going to talk about all 12 signs. So what I want to say to you is don't just listen to your own ascendant, your own rising sign. Listen to the signs that are 2 and 3 signs away from your sign, because you're probably going to progress into those signs and you get to understand the whole trajectory of how you walk through this world. It's really, really deep and thrilling to be able to see yourself through this new lens. I'm going to give you a couple different pro tips, okay? So this is really important for you to know. You're not just going to pay attention to your ascendant changing signs, although that is very critical and that's going to last for 30 years. But you're also going to look to see when, and you know me well, that progressed ascendant sits at the 29th degree before it changes to 0. When that happens, that is usually a significant year of losing something to gain something. That is very, very important to look at. That's absolutely critical. And then the third thing I want to teach you is when your ascendant changes signs, does it move a planet to that ascendant as well? So does a planet move to that progressed ascendant as well? If so, you have to take that planet into consideration with the changing of the ascendant. And then I also want you to look at a fourth thing, and that is now your progressed ascendant, let's say it's at 0 degrees Virgo, does that progressed ascendant sit on a planet in your natal chart, right? In a bi-wheel, you'll be able to see that. So like right now, my progressed ascendant is sitting on my Pluto. Whoa! Pluto is not progressed to my ascendant, but my ascendant, when I put it in a bi-wheel and I put my natal chart in the center, the ascendant is sitting on my Pluto. So that's the fourth thing. That's really advanced. If you didn't get that, still listen to this video. In my videos, I like to talk to all levels of people doing astrology. The very, very beginners, the neophytes, the medium people, the people that, get most advanced techniques, but are kind of in the purgatory of both worlds. And then I have so many smart people really hungry for the advanced astrology. I always like to throw them a bone. So stick with me because I will talk to all levels. So we're going to talk about what the progressed ascendant does. What does it mean? How does it work? And those are 4 different ways that I want you to look at your progressed ascendant. So the changing of the sign, the 29th degree, is there now a planet in your progressed chart on your ascendant? And is your progressed ascendant lined up to the same degree as a planet in your natal chart? That is the big ascendant story. I mean, that is the kaboom. So the ascendant represents yourself. And I have an entire video on the meaning of the the rising sign. And then I have every single sign. I've gone through every single sign on the ascendant. So you can go watch in depth your progressed ascendant sign. So I have Virgo rising, Cancer rising, Gemini rising, and I really, really recommend. And my rising sign series is very deep. It should come with a little bit of a warning label because I pull no punches and I go really, really deep. This is how we show up in the world. This is how we walk out our front door. This is how the world finds us. And this, when your rising sign changes, both your physical world and your opportunities, your attitudes about yourself, your physicality, your body, how you see the world is all changing. The entire alignment is changing. I would even say your relationship to your own self is changing. And maybe your relationship in the world has a shift. Now, let me tell you something really critical, super, super, super critical. This is so important for you to know. When your ascendant changes, so does your descendant. Yes. So not only are you changing in the world, but your partnerships and your whole seventh house is changing also. And that is a very, very big deal. So right now, I want to walk you through when your ascendant changes, remember that your descendant changes too. So your partnerships have a shift, your business partnerships, your marriage partners, who you attract into your life, who's attracted to you, and sort of the theme song. You're going to dance to a different beat. You're going to dance to a different drummer inside any kind of partnership or union. So when the first house changes, the seventh house also changes. Okay, I want to show you something fascinating. Okay, I want to show you Marilyn Monroe's chart. And Marilyn Monroe was born with an ascendant at 13 degrees Leo. So the very first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to see when Marilyn Monroe would have her ascendant progress to the 29th degree of Leo, because I know at that time she's going to have to probably step into a loss to exercise a gain. There's usually gains and losses. So you're sort of losing your old life and you're starting to develop a new life, but it is usually challenging, difficult, hard. There's like I said, loss. There's usually a transformation occurring. 1946, okay? She moves into that 29th degree of Leo rising. Now, why do I care about the 29th degree Leo rising? Because she was born with a 13 degree Leo rising, and you guys have to watch my video. You probably have the power of the degrees, and also watch this entire Progress series. So now we're deep into the Progress series, but I want you to watch the whole entire series so you can understand the math. And in my last video, I just did all of the math in the video called my top three predictive techniques, you making predictions with your Progress chart. And I give you 3 techniques, and that 29th degree is such a biggie. 1946, 29 degrees Leo. I went to a timeline to see what actually happened to her. 1946. So her whole world is about to massively change, and she's about to have an opportunity to get into her mastery, to really step into the discernment of who am I, and to actually increase her value and to become quite useful, which she was, and to really step into her talent and mastering her techniques. Well, August 26th, 1946, Marilyn Monroe signed a contract with 20th Century Fox. Now, what happened back in the olden days of Hollywood is you signed on with Paramount, with MGM, with 20th Century Fox, and then you were the movie star for all of their films. And you were kind of in a pool of famous actresses and actors, and they would use you in all the films that they made. They don't do that anymore. Now everybody's, a free agent. She signed this contract with 20th Century Fox, and this marked the very beginning, the very first step in her career in the film industry. And this opportunity paved the way for her to become one of the most iconic and famous actresses of all time during her life and even in her death. Now, I am going to go into this in my members only, because I'm going to be doing a very special video for my members only. So thank you to my super supporters and my superstar super supporters. And if you are not a member, consider joining. It's one step above subscribing. So if you are a subscriber, I'm so, so grateful. We're almost to 100,000. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe, because after I get to 100,000, I'm not asking anymore. That's just my goal. I'm just going to live at 100,000. But if you're a member, you get my behind the scenes, a little deeper look, and we go a little deeper into all of the lessons that I teach. So one of the things I'm doing for my members is I'm going to talk about the midhaven. And when the midhaven changes, so does the IC. So your home changes, but so does your legacy. And what is so fascinating is Marilyn Monroe was not born with Venus on her midhaven. She was born with her Venus in the 9th house. So we know that Venus is probably going to cross that midhaven. And guess what? Venus was progressed. It progressed into Taurus. She was born with Venus in Aries. And if you look at her early pictures, she was pretty, but she wasn't like the most beautiful human being on the planet. No, they made her that way. Hollywood made her that way because you kind of do sell your soul, sell your body, sell yourself to those studios. And they remake you. They invent you into who they want you to become. And then you live that life. You live the life of that persona. They created her. The filming industries and studios created her. Well, at that time, Leo was at that 29th degree and she signed on with the studio. Venus, by progression, was conjunct her progressed midhaven. So the midhaven is your legacy. It's who you are going to be in the world. So you have to watch that video too. You can watch the video that I have about the angles. What do the angles mean in the chart? And also I have another video about the 10th house. And that video is so important, the meaning of the 10th house, because the midhaven is the 10th house and it is your legacy. I call it Beethoven's house. Who do you want to be and who will you be and how will the world receive you? Well, she had Venus conjunct her midhaven in her progressed chart and she didn't have that in her natal chart. What else happened to her? Because that's all great and fun, right? But this is the 29th degree and this is supposed to be difficult and challenging. I found it very interesting and she did sign on with 20th Century Fox. Just 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, on September 13th, 1946, she got divorced. And she divorced James Dougherty. And that was her first husband who actually saved her, I believe, from having to return to the orphanage. And she really tried to make a life with him. And he's even spoken about her in the kindest of ways. But he absolutely was opposed to her pursuing her career in acting. And she divorced him or he divorced her. So he was a gargantuan blessing in her life because in many ways he was a father figure to her. And he saved her. He saved her from being completely without. And he was a father figure to her. And isn't it interesting that they got married when she was Leo rising. And when Leo went into that 29th degree, just not even by a month, she divorced him. And Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun in traditional astrology is the father in the chart. And she said, no, I want to step into my Mercury. And her Mercury is in Gemini conjunct the sun. She wanted to have her own voice. When Virgo is rising, you use your voice masterfully. So we now know that she's in crisis. Her marriage is over. She's going to step into this 20th Century Fox. She's not going to even know Norma Jean Baker anymore, right? She's going to become Marilyn Monroe. So I wanted to take a look at when it actually went to 0 degrees. So I know it was challenging and it was hard and it was transitional when it was at that 29th degree. And so it turns to Virgo 0 degrees, 0 minutes on November 16th, 1947. So November 16th, 1947. Now, I'll tell you, it doesn't always happen on the day. Just like good old progressions, it's slow moving. And sometimes for Marilyn, it went fast. But for some people, it takes 1 year or 2 years before you really take on the energy of that rising sign. Just like when your sun, did you guys watch that video? The sun in your progressed chart. And I go through what it all means, what happens when your sun progresses by house or by sign. So it's the same thing as that. Sometimes it takes years. So on December 7th, 1947, which is just a month after the ascendant progresses to that 0 degrees Virgo, Marilyn Monroe is given her first film role. It's called The Dangerous Years in 1947, December 7th. It marked the very beginning of her acting career in Hollywood. Isn't that amazing? And then what happened shortly after that, just the following March? So she's just a couple minutes into her ascendant. She now decided to sign on with Columbia Pictures for this movie called Ladies of the Chorus. But it expanded her even more because she got to dance and she now got to sing. And that's when she really got to stand in the full culmination of her talent as a dancer, a singer, and an actress, and a beauty icon. So she was a GOAT, the greatest of all time in that arena, if you will, or I should say one of the GOATs. I do think she was considered the most beautiful woman in the world. And to be able to be a triple threat with all those other talents, she really set herself apart from even the most beautiful of women because she could do it all. She kind of owned Hollywood and she also owned the president of the United States. But that's for a different story. We won't go into all those secrets if you don't already know them. Anyways, I wanted to give you a little example of how this shows up and how it works. So I want you to look at your 29th degree, and then I want you to look at your progressed ascendant. Then I want you to look at what your progressed ascendant is doing in your natal chart and compare it. And then I want you to see if you have any planets crossing that ascendant, because that will all become a very important part of the story. So I want to tell you something really, really exciting. And that is my calendar is so full, and it actually kind of hurts my heart because I can't service all the people that want to come for a reading. So you could do a couple of things. I have a new service that I'm offering and I'm so excited about it. One, you could get a reading with Connie Jo. She's fabulous. She loves progressions. She's fantastic. And she is reading for me. Stacy is taking a sabbatical for the rest of this year, but she will be back in January. Or you could consider, because I can do these much faster at midnight in my PJs. You'll see me with no makeup on and my hair in a bun. I'm doing recorded readings for 30 minutes. So if you want to get on my calendar, but you're discouraged by the wait, just consider booking a recorded reading with me. And I need 7 days to be able to produce it and send it to you. Give me 3 bullet points, email me your info, and I will do a recorded reading for you. So just go pick one on my website, soulnavigation.com, and you can click on recorded reading and book one and send me a little email. The instructions are in there. And if you want to talk to live in person with someone, consider getting a reading with Connie Jo. She is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. If your ascendant changes to Aries, well, first of all, I want you to mark the day when it sat at that 29th degree before it went into the 0 degrees Aries, okay? When it sat at that 29th degree, that's Pisces, and how long was it there before it moved into Aries? This is one of the biggest cataclysmic jolts and bolts that you will experience. I mean, this is something enormous. I want you to really think about how the entrance into Aries rising happened. Like there's probably something about your world that really shifted and changed and made you get independent. I'm going to tell you that there is going to be an increased physicality to your life. Maybe you have to do heavy lifting. Maybe you moved your home. Maybe you moved across the country. Maybe you, after years of being sort of in, I don't know, the, rainbows and unicorn fairy tale fantasy world, things are getting really real now. And there's a boldness. And I'll tell you that your physical transformation, you might get really strong. You might start to develop muscles. You might start to lift weights, but it's almost like you are letting go of unhealthy addictions or self-sabotages, really getting in touch with your physicality. You will also see that you're more assertive, you're easier to trigger, easier to anger. You might be more proactive about your life and you might take initiative. It's almost like no longer are you floating on a cloud or on a raft, letting the current take you wherever it wants to go. Now you are paddling your way to shore with a very specific and direct mission. It's almost like mission impossible. I'm going to tell you that your life is going to come into high focus. You're going to get into gear. You are going to become sort of no nonsense, very direct, and extraordinarily ambitious in a way that you never have been before. I want to tell you something kind of silly too. And that is that the color red might start appealing to you. Bold colors, red, black, bright, vibrant, bold colors. You might get a red car. You might want to wear red clothes, or you might play with like red eye makeup or red sparkles or red hair. I'll also tell you though that Libra is going to be on the descendant. So you're going to attract very Libran Venetian partners, beautiful partners that bring you more peace, love, balance, and harmony. And you're going to see that your partnerships have an ability now to compromise. They're going to be less critical because you used to have Virgo there. And so now you're going to step into Libra partnerships. So let's talk about Taurus. It's very interesting because you're coming from Aries. So really take a look at that 29th degree of Aries and then take a look at the date for the 0 degree Aries. Oh, and by the way, if you want to know what your progressed rising sign is right now, consider getting my Advanced Astro Gold Package. It's at Shop Soul Navigation. We sell it there. We'll make it for you. We'll email it for you, and you get the report around all of your progressed planets, your midheaven, your ascendant, all of it, your Venus, your sun, all your planets. You get that giant report, plus you get an extra report that goes into the nodes, and it also goes into your house rulers, which is fan-friggin-tastic. It's why I called it the Gold Package. It is so good. It's probably my best-selling package after the starter package. And you get your progressed chart. You can also, if you want to see how your progressed chart is working with your natal chart, you can buy a buy wheel in my shop to have your natal chart and your progressed chart in a buy wheel so you can understand what those planets are doing with one another by aspect. When Taurus is rising, you're going to start to slow down. You're going to start to crave being calm. You're going to start with wanting to be comfortable in life, and you might start cooking, growing a vegetable garden, working with food, working with fabrics, working with flowers, working with crafts, beautifying your life, your house. You might actually step into a beautification of your own body and your own self. You might decide that this is a time when you want to up your beauty game, get, enhanced in some way, if you know what I mean. You could even develop an artistic talent, a green thumb, an appreciation for design, color, art, food, wine, all the good things. And also you're going to develop a brand new relationship with nature. So you might be slowing down in the ambition and running hard and really get into, waterfall trails and the butterfly museum. I wanted to go to the butterfly museum in Arizona, and my kids were like, okay, all right. But I really, really wanted to go. They weren't into it too much. You could also put on weight when you're a Taurus rising. I want you to remember that now you've got Scorpio on your descendant. So there's a more intense, passionate, high-focused, maybe even sexual connection. You might be more drawn to, the secretive, the taboo, the forbidden fruit, if you will. Relationships could get a little bit more complicated right now. You might also I find that this axis brings a lot of power struggles because we've got Mars in the partnership house and we've got Venus ruling, right? The ascendant. So now Venus is your new ruler. So that's the other thing you have to go do is you got to go look and see what Venus is doing in not only your natal chart, but your progressed chart too, because those Venuses, if you will, are running your show now. And you're going to see that you're going to attract very, very powerful partners that can actually even invest in you and bring money to the table. This is the money access. So you could step into money that you build for yourself, building wealth, and also money from partnerships. Okay, when you move out of Taurus and into Gemini, go look and tell me, leave it in the comments, what happened at the 29th degree of Taurus, and then what happened at the 0 degree Gemini. Now, again, it might take even up to 2 years for that significant thing to happen. For Marilyn Monroe, her life was happening fast, and it's like she lived 20 lifetimes within her 36 years. I think she died around 34, 36, but she crammed a lot into her life. So with Gemini, now you're speeding up. Now your pace of your daily life becomes almost frenetic. And there's a curiosity about life and your mind and people and traveling. You find new skills. You use your voice. You might learn how to sing songs. You might learn how to play music. You might become really, really good at math and you don't even understand why, because you never were when it was in Taurus. There's a diversity to your life now. There's an open mind. Now you feel like saying yes to everything. You become a fountain of youth. And if you're a parent, your kids are now finding that you're doing young things. You're being a big fat kid again. You're being Peter Pan. Whatever you missed out on in your Taurus rising years and all the responsibility, now you just want to kick up your heels and go dancing and play and sprinkle fairy dust everywhere you go. You become communicative and more talkative, and your social group opens up. You can also start traveling, maybe short distances. Maybe it's in an RV. Maybe you buy a new car. You get a new mode of transportation. Maybe you buy a new boat, car, plane, something. And I want to tell you that Sagittarius is now in your partnership house. So you might be really drawn to foreigners, different cultures, traveling abroad. You might marry a foreigner, date a foreigner. Your business partner or your partnerships might have a foreign quality to them. And you also might see that you attract, I don't know, the gypsy soul, or somebody who is really different than who you used to be attracted to, because you used to be attracted to Scorpio and now you're like, hell to the no with those Scorpios. I want a free loving, gypsy, truth-seeking, adventurous, loudmouth, funny Sagittarius. Don't burden me with the Scorpio energy. I want this level of freedom, right? You get off the couch and you get deep into the adventurous spirit of your newfound life. There's a happy-go-lucky sweetness about your life. Okay, let's talk about Cancer. So when Cancer is rising, you're coming from Gemini. So again, check that 29th degree of Gemini. What happened? Leave it in the comments. Tell us all, because we all learn and grow from this gorgeous community. By the way, this community is so beautiful, so beautiful. And I have to tell you, I want to invite you to come learn with me in person. My next retreat and workshop is going to blow your mind. I'm talking about how to find death in the chart, your lucky charm Jupiter, and I'm talking about the secrets of the moon. So it's going to be so deep and so intimate and so profound and so powerful and so wildly fun, because we are going to go to a flamenco show. We are going to have tapas together on rooftop bars, and we're going to do a sunset happy hour cruise in Barcelona, Spain. Oh my God. So get your ticket. I only have room for 35 people and I am so excited. Get your passport and come join us. So please come. You can check out all the details on my website, soulnavigation.com. Look at the whole entire itinerary, see where to stay. You got to stay in the Gothic Quarter. So incredible. Anyways, come and learn with me in person, because it is so healing and so transformative. Anyways, let's talk about Cancer rising. So now we're stepping into a deeply sensitive. And if you're deeply sensitive and deeply feeling and you're deeply emotional, there's usually a good reason for it. The world is usually giving you a reason to be sensitive, to be emotional. And so this is profound feelings and profoundly getting in touch with your feelings. Your inner world becomes imaginative and intuitive, emotional and sensitive. You start to really go within yourself and do deep self-discovery. Your intuition is going to be on fire. Yes. And I want to tell you, your family, your home, it comes right here. It's literally right here. It's this close to you. So family becomes extraordinarily in high focus and very important. It doesn't necessarily mean that you mend your family problems or mend all of the family trauma, although that could be. It just means it's in high focus for good or for bad. Your family may need you. Your family may want you. I also want to tell you that at this time in your life, you are probably going to find the most powerful emotional bonds and connections in your whole entire life. You could gain weight. You could get pregnant. Children could come into your life. The moon becomes very important to you. The moonlight, the nighttime. You might slow down a little bit. You might want to cultivate, understand the inner world of your life. Your inner experiences, they become golden. They become absolutely priceless. Now, this is also a time when you have Capricorn on the descendant, so your relationships could get very, very serious. And you can be attracted to those who are mature, wise, come with a great deal of authority, are the CEO of their own life, have a level of importance and ambitious, people that are steady, that show up in your life in a way that means serious business, somebody who really wants to make a commitment. Like when you had Sagittarius on the descendant, you probably met gypsy souls that they wanted to commit but maybe didn't commit. Well, Capricorns in the 7th house, especially by progression, now you're like probably on the first date, do you want to have children? Because if you don't, then I can't date you because I want kids. Okay, deal breaker. Deal breaker, deal breaker, deal breaker. Sagittarius is like, well, let's just one day at a time and see where it goes and see, maybe they'll change their mind. Maybe they won't, maybe they will. I don't know how I feel about it. You're going to probably attract partners that level you up in your own life, that really challenge you, and somebody who you want to become responsible for. In a way, like you want the responsibilities that go along with being in a serious union. When you have Cancer rising, all of a sudden your moon is running your show. So where's your progressed moon? Your rising sign is going to change like almost every 30 years. So the moon, and it's always changing, right? This is very interesting. That changing moon, that moon changes every 2.5 years, is going to be the ruler. So you're going to get a new ruler in your progressed chart of your life every 2.5 years. So it's very volatile. It's very changing. So the moon in Cancer rising and Cancer rising by progression is really odd. It's very interesting. It's super fascinating because your life changes theme songs every 2.5 years because the moon is your ruler, and the moon, it moves into a new sign by progression every 2.5 years. Also, your moon in your natal chart becomes very, very important because you have to take that into consideration. Okay, let's talk about Leos. So when the ascendant moves into Leo, it's a really big bang. When it moves from a water sign into a fire sign, it's really enormous. There's a giant pop. But that 29th degree of Cancer rising usually has some sort of emotional sadness or loss in it. So what happened when that ascendant was at 29 degrees Cancer? But right now, you're going to be seen. You're going to all of a sudden start to be really noticed and in the spotlight. You're going to attract all kinds of attention that you want or don't want. You might be seeking it. You might be looking for it. Like you might get a stage presence of some sort. This might sound funny, but your hair comes into high focus. So maybe you go natural, right? And you have all gray hair now, or maybe you go blonde, or maybe you get a haircut that's kind of dramatic. But one thing that I want to tell you is that your life gets expressed in a more authentic way, and you exude an aura of magnetism and confidence. And your image becomes a little bit sharper. It becomes a little bit more flamboyant, happy, and dramatic. And I want to tell you that your life can really become quite playful right now. You may really care about what others think about you, but there's a massive creativity that wants to be born inside of you. Your descendant is changing to Aquarius. So you're going to attract friends and partnerships, and maybe friends that turn into partners. And you will also really step into kind of an egalitarian system. These are partners where there is no real hierarchical order. There is an equilibrium between partners. I really like Aquarius on the descendant because there's also a level of freedom, and there's a level of you getting to be you. There might be something unique or different about your partnerships, and you might go into business around a very unique business, but there's a mutual admiration here because there isn't somebody on top. Like in Capricorn, there's usually the partner has a lot of authority, or you bring a lot of authority, one or the other. And when you have Aquarius there's an equality here. And there's also an kind of an idealistic or an ideology that the two of you follow together. You get in synchronicity usually around what you believe in. You usually get a little more progressive, a little bit less rulesy and regulations, and you attract really open-minded partners. You attract people that support you like, hey, let the chips fall where they fall. We don't need to pay for a 30-year mortgage. We don't need to be in debt. There's a free-spiritedness here. There's a desire to really understand life in a let freedom ring way. And so go look to the sun by progression and in your natal chart if you're a Leo rising, because that is really the underpinning of the expression here. By the way, if you guys love learning and you really want to go deep, and you want to go deep into a 2 to 6 hour class, go look at all the classes, the master classes and the workshops that I have for sale. I have a Neptune class. I have Learn Astrology in 3 hours. I have a Soulmates class. Go check them all out. They're for sale. You can watch them. You'll learn so much. And if you're learning this, you're already an advanced astrological thinker. When you step into a Virgo ascendant, you get a little bit more serious about your image, about who you're going to be, about your craft, and about self-mastery. There is a perfectionist that has been born now, and you become unpretentious, humble in your skills, your craft, your gifts. You become a little bit more focused on the organization of your life and the orderliness of your life. You want to become very useful, or you do become useful. And I'll tell you that you could feel like your life is a little bit muted compared to the Leo years. I will tell you, you are actually cultivating this high ability to master yourself. And people might even be seeing you as somebody who is exceptional at their craft, exceptional at their talent. Mercury is now the ruler of your chart. Health is a big piece of your life. So are you neglecting your health? Don't do that with Virgo rising. Nutrition is important. Wellness is at the forefront, and exercise is critical. So you're more health conscious. And if you're more health conscious, there's usually a reason why. I'll also tell you goals become very important to you, and working your goals will become very, very important. Now your descendant is in Pisces, and so you're going to start to attract Piscean partners. But this could be people that teach you how to forgive, teach you how to love without condition, teach you how to love like divine love, people who can compromise, people that can flow with you, go with you. And you might be attracting artists or even wounded birds, people that actually need you. And usually there is a like karmic or a deep spiritual connection when you move into Pisces on the descendant. Like, you're very attracted to people who have a depth about them. There's a magical soulmate, kindred spirit, twin flame feeling when you have Pisces on the descendant. You can attract a soulmate. You can attract your twin flames, and you can have more than one, by the way. So it can get confusing. Okay, let's talk about Libra. When Libra is on the ascendant, you step into beauty, and you step into the power to negotiate. You step into being a harmonizer, a peacemaker, and you become more relationship focused. Life becomes more social. You might get invited to parties or to fabulous affairs. You might be brokering deals. You might be the great spokesperson. And there may be a high interest in the arts, beauty, peace, love, harmony, women, all things Venus. And love becomes high focus. Venus, wherever Venus is by progression and in your natal chart, this is now running your world, and it will for 30 years. And so it can become extraordinarily important that you don't give all your energy away to others. On the descendant, your relationships now have an Aries feeling to them. And so you're going to be attracting people with incredible force and vim and vigor and vinegar, vim, vinegar, and vigor. Your partners can really push you to your maximum, push you forward, elevate you, hold your goals in their hands and help you with them. They might, so now you're on a Mars-Venus axis. So love and sex comes into high focus, or money and life force energy, and using your energy inside partnerships like you haven't ever done before. And because you have to remember that you had Pisces here before. So now you really need a strong partner. You need a strong partner that can handle you and handle your life. And you could attract partners that are a little bit self-absorbed, but if you get a healthy human in your life, this could just bring someone who might have to be self-absorbed to climb the mountain that they're climbing, because these are very ambitious people. Scorpio. When you have Scorpio rising, Mars and Pluto are running your show. And so you can feel more isolated. You can feel like being a player, being a socialite, or having a big social circle, or going to all the parties, or having a ton of friends is no longer really attractive to you anymore. You might withdraw a little bit. You might feel a little bit more high-focused, melancholy. Your deep internal world, like Cancer rising, is very critical right now. Understanding yourself, understanding the psychology of your life, going into psychology. There's a depth about your life that really deepens and increases. You're going to be looking for answers in a more profound way, and you're going to be seeking more profound questions. And you might actually find that there's a light that shines on people who have hurt you or betrayed you. You might have to sever from those people who hurt you or betrayed you. And you also might be able to see through people with X-ray vision, understanding their motives and understanding their secrets. Secrets could come out right now. You might also really, this is the most transformative rising sign, and now you are a great transformer. So how is your life literally changing so deeply inside and outwardly. And I want to tell you that while your depth, you're going to deepen, but you could also attract to yourself people that will invest in you financially. You might attract reasons or situations where you save people's lives or you help them heal. You might have more complicated circumstances about your life. You might get interested in everything that's going wrong in the world, focusing on problems. Scorpio risings oftentimes do that. But I'll tell you, your willpower could really increase. Your will, your drive, your ability to accomplish a lot of things and make life happen. There's a strength, a newfound strength about your life. Now, your relationships are going to be very Taurus ruled. So before, it was Libra and Aries, Venus and Mars. Now it's Mars ruled chart with Venus ruling partnership. So it's the inversion of the last set that I just talked about. Sex is a big deal now. So either no sex, a lot of sex, or understanding your sexual preferences or your sexuality can all transform and shift and change. You might be interested in the forbidden, the taboo, an affair, somebody you're not supposed to want to have, but you want to have them. You know, you're not supposed to fall in love with teacher. You might fall in love with teacher or your next door neighbor when you know you shouldn't, or your nurse and you're a doctor, et cetera, a pilot and the flight attendant. Oh, wait, that one's allowable. Why do we allow that one, huh? But you're going to want to be with very serious partners that are not frivolous, that are not superficial, that are meaningful, that really know how to build seriousness, know how to have great sex, sensuality, know what good partnership means, comes home every day. You're not going to want to play around. You're not going to want to fool around or around. But I want to tell you that you could also see you have found somebody who is just calm on your nerves at this time, because before it was in Aries. And so now, instead of feisty fire and changing the game and the rules and power struggle, now there's a sweetness, there's a harmony, and there's probably good food here and probably just slowing down enough in life to really rest, to take care of the body and the soul. Okay, Sag rising. This is a big, big shift. And I feel like Sag rising is like the get out of jail free card. The get out of jail free card, because you're getting out of the Scorpio rising. And now you're finding yourself with energy, adventure, personality. You're wanting to explore the world and you're wanting to travel and learn, and you're watching documentaries on things that you never even knew about, and you're developing a new belief system, a new philosophy. You're following new truth crusaders. You want to understand Gandhi and Plato and all these big giant things that you just were not that interested in before. Before you might have had an interest here and there, but really life was about your own circumstances and your own situation. And now life is about all this that's out there. You're going to be pulled into 1,000 different situations. Your life is going to get adventurous and busy and big and loud and expansive, and your horizons are going to be just shocking you. There's now an optimism. I feel like there's wings on your back with this placement. I feel like this is a really giant shift where you just have big dreams. You want to live more wildly and carefree, and you want to take sort of a leap of faith or dive into the deep end of the pool. You really want to live life to the fullest. You might even feel like this is a time in your life where you see life is short, let's do it all. You really change your value system around what is security, what is even safe, like nothing's safe, so let's just dive in. And there's a great sense of liberation. It literally is like getting out of solitary confinement. You might find that there's a newfound sense of what is possible and optimism and joy. Now, your relationship house, the Ascendant, has Gemini on it. And so that means you're going to start attracting and being attracted to people that are younger than you, playful, the fountain of youth. Like you really love spirited people that are funny and clever and great communicators, great thinkers, great minds. This is the education access. This is the intelligence access, the communication access. So people that you have similar interests with, people that are just very willing to go with the flow, make it up as we go, and people that have a similar interest or a similar mindset as you, but very open-minded. In some ways, this is like the super fun years of your life. So you're going to have to tell me, especially at that 29th degree Scorpio ascendant and that 29th degree Taurus ascendant, what happened and how did this shift occur for you? I'm dying to know. I think this is one of the giant cataclysmic ascendant descendant changes. This is just like snap, crackle, pop. And I'll also tell you that this isn't necessarily a time time when you want to do lockdown in a faithful, committed partnership. This is a time where you might want to just play the field a little bit. You might be having even a midlife crisis, or you might be feeling like, I don't know why I wanted all that responsibility. Why did I sign up for all that? I just want to play and have fun. Do we have to get married? When the ascendant progresses into Capricorn, you start becoming more responsible and you start behaving in a more mature and wise way. And you might even be a little bit more, on your game, building something of worth, being in your wisdom, your maturity, your ambition, climbing the corporate ladder. It's like now you want security because it might have been expensive while you were a Sagittarius rising. And now it's like, I kind of got to pinch my pennies because I want to have long-term stability. I want to build something of lasting value and of worth. And I want to become stronger in my sense of life, like what my life is about, the meaning of my life. And I want to become pragmatic, practical, hardworking in a way that I haven't been. Or now I know myself and I know my truth. So I want to concretize it and put it in a concrete way. You can also step into a lot of responsibility and a lot of authority. You can level up. You can find that you become the CEO of your life. And usually there's a reason, like you really step into the matriarch or the patriarchal role. Even if you're only 7 years old, you might be running the show at your family's house. So this isn't about age. This is about responsibility gets heaped on you. So what happened? How did your wings get clipped in your 29th year of your progressed Sagittarius ascendant in a way that made you feel like you had to be more secure, more pragmatic, climb that corporate ladder, climb that mountain, and make something concrete of your life? I'll tell you that you can become a worrier now, where once you were like, God, I didn't have a worry in the world. Now you worry about everything. I totally get that. I can relate to that. I oftentimes see worst case scenario when I need to remind myself, okay, don't go there. Don't go there. Be optimistic. But this is a time when you can attract the world seeing you with great respect, with mutual respect. They see you in your maturity. They lean on you for your strength, for your advice, for your money. You can make massive money, but you could also become a workaholic with this placement. And now you're going to find that you're going to attract partners that support all that in you, because that's Cancer, right? So Saturn is now your ruler, and Cancerian qualities are what you're attracted to. And you want to take care of your partner, and you want a partner that takes care of you. There's a lot of nurturing when that Cancer is on the descendant. So you want to find somebody who is emotionally capable, emotionally deep and sincere and faithful, sensitive, thoughtful to you, somebody who will nurture you, will nurture your relationship, will nurture themselves, will nurture like a parent would. This is the parental axis, mother, father. So you're going to start attracting partners that want security, want safety, but also you want to attract partners that are an emotionally secure haven for your own self, an emotionally secure place for your own self, somebody who can nest, somebody who can be sort of in your world with you in tandem, supporting you underneath, supporting you on top, and side by side, somebody who's really a rock for you, and you will give that in return. Okay, Aquarius. Now, when the ascendant progresses into Aquarius, I mean, this is very interesting. If you're a Sag rising, then you go to Capricorn, then you go to Aquarius. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're on a roller coaster. And if you're a late Scorpio, and then you go to Sag, and then you go to Capricorn, and then you go to Aquarius, it's like, okay, what is happening to me? But this person becomes socially aware of social causes, of the environment, of humanitarian issues. I'll also tell you that your friendships and your network, your social awareness, but your social presence really becomes the focus. You might even see that your looks start to become a little bit eccentric, quirky, different, unique, or you're not afraid to express that uniqueness about yourself. I'll tell you that you might become far more interested in what is happening in the world around you. You might get into different ideologies, studies like astrology, even sociology. You might want to understand humanitarianism and causes. You might start volunteering or even want to study, research, or be a part of big, giant, global, earthbound, and even cosmic issues or interests. And I'll tell you, this is a time when there's going to be great, massive change, because Aquarius is the sign of change. So you're going to change your belief system, your ideology, and then you'll probably live by it. Don't be surprised if you become a vegan, or you don't believe in plastic anymore, or you want to be a zero carbon person, or you're the expert on, true recycling, not fake recycling. Now we're learning that all the recycling we've done isn't good enough or wasn't even a thing. And, you're definitely not going to be the person who buys the, laundry detergent in the jug. I'm not one of those people. No. And if you are, you're very embarrassed. You hope your neighbors don't see you put that in the recycle bin. What I'm saying is that you're going to make giant transformations with Aquarius rising. Your whole life is going to turn not just upside down, but inside out and sideways. So it's like you are going to be really, really uniquely different. So much so it's like people will call you and go, are you even my friend anymore? What are you doing? Where are you at? I don't understand. Where have you been? You're missing. And you're like, wow, well, I'm an advocate for such and such a cause. And I want to tell you that your world of technology could change. Like maybe you move from pen and paper and you get automated like I did when my son progressed into Aquarius. I hope you guys watch that video where I talk about your son's progression, because this is your rising sign's progression is so important, but it is how you see the world and how the world sees you. It isn't the evolution of your soul. It's sort of like the environment around you, which is a big deal. I mean, what if you took me out of Seattle, Washington, and you put me in the jungle somewhere, right? And you had me live there. That would change my whole psyche. That would change my relationship to myself, right? Like what would show, did you guys ever see that show Naked and Afraid? Oh my God, I watched that show with my niece. It was her favorite show. I was horrified. Like you got eaten by bugs and you had to use tree leaves to build a canopy for toilet paper, right? Like really, really difficult. So you really get to see who you are in a whole new environment. I said this before. I love the song. It's on my ski playlist. Do you guys know that I snow ski on the weekends in the winter? Like almost every weekend. And guess what happened? My daughter's going to college and she told me not to buy her a ski pass. So I am skiing solo and I'm so sad, but I'm going to build a new playlist. That song by the Pussycat Dolls, Loosen Up My Buttons, Baby. Yeah, that song is this. I love that song and I love to ski to that song. This is when you completely step out of all the responsibilities that you were strapped by in Capricorn and you really see the world in its more truthful meaning of life, which is just an energetic exchange. Like all that money and all those, do you know that all those billions of dollars that Kim Kardashian has actually mean nothing? Those dollars don't even matter. Love matters. And when you are an Aquarius rising, you start to see that everywhere you go. And you see universal love. You see large scale love on a large scale. What if every single one of you that was watching this video decided to love our ocean as much as you love your dog, your cat, or your child? What if we all did that? Like that could really change the world. Like where none of us abused it ever, or we all decided to clean up the oceans together. Like that kind of universal love is this. So it's really big. And you might see that you start to join soul tribes and groups. So if you have Aquarius rising, you definitely should be joining this community and learning astrology. That's a whole nother thing. This is the astrologer chart signature, Aquarius. Come learn with me. Come learn with me in person. I'm in Barcelona in October, and then we'll be back here in Seattle next May 2025. But Barcelona is for the Aquarius rising because it's kind of the free-spirited gypsy soul at night. So we study hard during the day, we play hard at night, and it is so much fun. Anyways, there's going to be a desire to want to put your energy into the whole world and loving the world, large-scale love. Let's talk about Leo on the descendant. Now you're going to start attracting people that have big, creative, massive energy. Somebody who can actually friggin' handle you. Okay. Somebody who can get you to Mork and Mindy, come back to life, come back to earth, eyes on me and you, me and you, me and you, right? Like, come on back. There's dinner at 8:00 tonight. I don't dare say 5:00 because Leos are a little bit busy. I'll tell you, you're going to find partners that come with a lot of color and drama and a joie de vivre, and somebody who's playful, somebody who gets you a little bit less serious, somebody who can play with you, romance you, love you, adore you, live life large with you. But I'll also say Leos can be a little bit more possessive than the Aquarius rising wants. I'll just tell you though that Leos on the ascendant usually bring a great deal of security, emotional joy, happiness, playfulness. There's a little bit more excitement with this placement. If you really want to learn, you should start with the starter package. And if you've already gotten my starter package, get your gorgeous natal chart and your deep dive report. That's the starter package. Then go get your Advanced Astro Gold Package. And then I have tons of other reports on there. And I love the Soul's Design Report. Even if you're 60 years old, I cannot recommend the Child's Report enough. It is so good. I also hope you guys saw my entire composite composite series that I did. I think there's a few more videos that I still want to do for that series, but you can get your composite report. You can get your soulmates package. The composite charts are so fascinating. So once you start learning your natal chart, you're going to want to start learning your progress chart, and then you're going to want to start learning your composites and your synastries with other people. And it's just so exciting. So I have a chart or a report to support all of that in my store. And you can find all my links below at shopsoulnavigation.com. So when the ascendant moves into Pisces, we find ourselves again in a water sign. So it creates a deep emotional sensitivity, but your psychic awareness is so heightened. You might start being able to finish people's sentences. You might have telepathy. You might have the ability to astro travel. You might leave your body. You might become clairsentient, clairaudient, and you might start reading the tarot. This is also a pursuit in astrology. But I'll tell you that there's going to be an exhaustion with having given your energy away to the whole wide world. And you really need time to go within and do deep self-discovery. You might need to escape the burdens of other people, the burdens of the hard realities. You could even really enjoy escaping through anything, through an art form, developing an art form, getting lost in music, getting lost in alcohol, drugs, gaming, anything that takes you away from reality. You might even feel like you want something new, but you don't know what it is, because Pisces rising really wants to dream the dream. So I say take all the gifts and all the talents and all the tools that are inside of you, and whatever that dream is, live it out. But one thing Pisces rising is really good at, and I really recommend you go watch my Pisces rising video if this is you, because that is one of my single best videos I've ever done, not in design or lighting or even like quality of the film, but in the substance of what I talk about. I don't know how I did that video, but I swear to God, I think I channeled it from God. If you really want to be moved, go read all the comments on that video. You might feel vulnerable. You might feel like you are exposed. I'll also tell you, it might come to light of how you were victimized in this lifetime. You might get to the truth, but your life is also truly now about forgiveness. And it is about taking your energy back, establishing good boundaries, to escape only to recharge, but not to escape, to truly escape, to surrender into God's love, divine love, spirit's love, cosmic love, and to allow fate to lead you, and to allow faith to guide you. Trust in God. So if you're going to be trusting in God, you need to understand what God is, right? What is divine love? What is God? And you're really developing the guardian angel archetype that lives inside of you. You're becoming a guardian angel. So why do you need to be a guardian angel? Well, the world will ask that of you. You will need to be a guardian angel in some way, shape, or form. This is all happening right now. So now you're getting out of like the worldview, and you're getting into like, who am I in this worldly place, in this spiritual tapestry called life? And what is life? And now you're going to start asking all those big questions that not everybody has the answer to. You might feel like you need more alone time. You need time to recenter yourself. This is very regenerative. You need to sleep more. You need to slow down more. And you need to be around bodies of water. I'll tell you, these are your gentle years. These are your sweet years. These are your angelic years. And there's a deep romance and a longing to connect intimately with other people. You're going to slow down when you have Pisces rising. And so your relationships move into an essence of Virgo. And so you're going to be attracted to people who are highly efficient, highly useful, masterful in their own crafts, their own skills, and somebody who has their finger on the pulse of health and wellness, taking care of you, taking care of them, taking care of your relationship. You might be attracted to partners that really bring sweat equity to the table and really carry their own weight. You might see that these partners, or you attract partners that genuinely want to help you and you want to help them. So this is the service access. So somebody who will serve you where you're at, somebody who will really want to get on board with your dream and help you navigate it, help you manage it, help you build it, help you grow it bit by bit by bit. And you might need somebody like that in your life. You might need somebody who is highly useful for you, who reminds you to take your vitamins and asks you if you want to go on a walk after dinner or ride bikes or go on a hike. Earth and water. So the two of you are really going to like doing things in nature that bring beautiful earth, Virgo, and water to your playground. And I also want to tell you that this is when you step into a vision of truly being able to forgive other people and to attract people into your life as partners that genuinely see your value and your worth. I hope so much you guys liked this video. You'll have to leave me a comment. Please like it and share it, and go watch your corresponding rising sign on my channel because I go deep, deep into it. And I would love your feedback. I hope so much you guys are coming to my Playful Progressions party. It is free for Superstar Super Supporters, and it's only $4.99 for Superstars. It's members only. And guess what I am going to do? I am going to read charts, and we're going to talk all about progressions. And I want you to understand your progressions. So members only, keep an eye out for your bonus video where I talk about the midheaven progressing and how important that is to your life and your career and your legacy. Let me know how your progressed rising sign right now is shaping your life. I want to know. All right, you guys, from my house here in Seattle to wherever you're at in the world, I appreciate you and thank you for learning astrology with me. I hope you really feel like you're on a deeper trek with me. Bye for now.